welcome back to Anamanji, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 box office films from this past weekend. Now, there are a few surprises and a few things that we kind of expected going in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Also, if you haven't pressed that subscribe button, go ahead and do so now so you can get more movie news reviews and reactions from me, your boy. Alright, let's get started. So, we're going to start off with number 1 at the box office, which is kind of a surprise, but not really. Pacific Rim comes in at number 1 with $28 million. It's kind of low, especially for a movie that got a lot of attention. There were advertisements for this movie everywhere. And of course, there was a little bit of hype for it. You have a known actor, John Boyega from the Star Wars franchise, coming to lead the charge in this movie. And some other no-names with a known property. The first Pacific Rim, which came out in 2013, was pretty popular, and a lot of people liked it, and were really waiting for the sequel. But I think what really hurt this movie is the fact that the sequel didn't come out until now. Why wait so long if there was clearly an interest in it? Also, I think that the lack of Idris Elba and Charlie Hunnam probably hurt this movie even more. And of course, the critics weren't too thrilled about it, basically saying that it was dumb fun at the movie theater that not everybody would really enjoy. So I feel like that hurt the numbers, but $28 million is really low, especially for a movie with robots fighting giant monsters. I mean, the Transformers movies, even though the last one didn't really do well, made more than that. So you have to wonder, are audiences getting smarter? We don't know. But moving on. At number 2 is Black Panther, which is finally relieving the throne. Jesus Christ, it took so long. 5 weeks at number 1, which was a huge deal. It's already the number 1 grossing superhero movie of all time. That's huge. And I'm super happy that Black Panther has enjoyed so much success. And this week, it's still doing pretty good. Even though it's no longer at number 1, it brought in $17 million, still holding on strong. And you can see that audiences are still interested in going to see Black Panther. I mean, Marvel is killing it. And then, of course, next month we have Infinity War coming out. So you know that's going to cause some serious box office damage. Marvel is just it's on a roll, and it doesn't seem like anything is going to stop it. And Black Panther is just one example of that. But moving on to number 3 is the Christian movie, I Can Only Imagine. Say I love Jesus. I love Jesus. Bringing in $13 million domestically. I mean, wow, this Christian movie is doing a lot better than I think anybody was really anticipating. Not only was it number 3 last week, but it has kept its number 3 spot. And bringing in $13 million means that people are still interested. That's a pretty strong hold. I am just shocked that the niche market, the niche Christian market, is so strong. They really want to see movies for their faith out there. And that makes a lot of sense. I believe that the Christian market is a largely forgotten market, a largely overlooked market. And I feel like the industry really needs to start putting out more films for the people who want to see something. They're showing you, hey, we are going to support these films. We're going to go watch them. Just put them out. So I feel like this is a telling sign that there's an interest here. So capitalize on it. Bring out more films that are faith-based, because you see that they're going to make a decent amount of money. I mean, it's shocking, but apparently it's a fact. Here's the evidence right here. It's all in the numbers. Number 4 is Sherlock Gnomes. Yeah, I am not interested in Sherlock Gnomes at all. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. And not only am I not interested, but I barely saw any advertisement for the movie in itself. And apparently a lot of other people didn't see anything for this movie either, because it only brought in $10 million this weekend, which is pretty bad. Apparently there's just no interest. And for it to be a kid's movie, for it to only make this much, is just, it's really sad. I mean, there are plenty of kids movies out there that parents aren't interested in, that they don't want to see, but they'll go for their kids because their kids want to see it. This movie, the numbers are showing that the kids aren't even asking their parents to go and see this one. I mean, apparently it just doesn't look good, or maybe they didn't see enough commercials for it or something. But it could go back to what I said earlier about Pacific Rim. Maybe audiences are getting smarter about where they spend their money. They don't want to spend money on something that they don't feel like is worth it. A lot of parents or a lot of families, one person is paying everyone's way, and those tickets can get really pricey. So people don't want to spend money on movies that, that they don't think is going to have enough of a payoff in the end. And I'll get more into that later, but it seems like that was a factor when it comes to this movie here. And then at number 5 is Tomb Raider, bringing in about $10 million, really close to Sherlock Gnomes, but that's really, really sad. The fact that Tomb Raider is fighting for 4th place with a kids film that really nobody is interested in. And it's kind of interesting to me because Tomb Raider is a female-led actioner. Right after the success of Wonder Woman last year, you would think that anything with a leading woman would actually make some decent money, or at least it would drive enough interest for people to want to go and see it. But it doesn't seem like people were really cared about Tomb Raider at all. I mean, it dropped 3 spots from last week when it was at number 2. It just, I'm not sure. Maybe there's not enough interest in the property, or maybe the leading lady herself didn't drive enough attention. I mean, you can't really replace Angelina Jolie in that role. I mean, come on, it's Angelina. She was awesome. But even with that, Alicia Vikander isn't an Academy Award winner, but apparently she's not a household name yet. Maybe they would have fared better going with someone that people are more familiar with. I don't know. But Tomb Raider is not doing well, but it is doing well overseas. So sequel talks may not be out for now, but we'll just have to wait and see what its total is at the end of its run. So that's our top 5 box office for this week. But there's some other news coming out of the box office as well. And that is that this month, this March, has seen a really, really steep decline when it comes to box office revenue. Last year, the month of March brought in an estimated $1.2 billion at the box office. Now, of course, that's because we had a lot of large, attention-grabbing movies that came out, which was Beauty and the Beast, Logan, Kong, Boss Baby, which was a surprise hit. But those films generated interest, and people went to go see those films. Not only did they generate interest, but the majority of them got decent reviews. Boss Baby didn't, but Boss Baby is, like I said before, a shock. It's like the twist at the end of a book that you didn't see coming. The fact that that movie did as good as it did is like, what? But anyway, I digress. And March has seen a steep decline since that time. And honestly, I believe it has to do with the quality of films that came out then and now. What has really come out in the month of March? Tomb Raider, which didn't get good reviews. Pacific Rim, which is years too late on being a sequel. You have Black Panther, which is a February release. And then a bunch of stuff in between, which honestly just didn't generate interest. So not only were none of these films critical darlings, but people just weren't interested in the properties like last year. And what makes this month even worse is the fact that Black Panther, a movie from February, actually is responsible for 24% of the whole month's revenue thus far. That is really telling right there. Apparently, people just weren't interested in the films coming out, or Black Panther just sucked all of the interest away from the other movies. But to be completely honest with you, I believe that if the other movies were better and they had better reviews, maybe people would have been more interested in going to see them or spending their money on them. It's like I said before, families these days, especially the millennials like myself, they are more frugal. They're not trying to spend their money on something that they don't think is worth it. So you have a family man who has a few kids and a wife that he's paying for. He's going to spend upwards of $40 to $50 on the tickets and the food alone. He doesn't want to spend that money or invest that kind of cash into a film that everybody is saying isn't worth the time or the money. And that was the case with a lot of films this month. So what does that mean for the box office going forward? Well, it can't mean anything good. Apparently, the only films that are box office bets now are Marvel films, which is great, but it's also kind of bittersweet because you have to wonder, well, when Marvel eventually stops making films, is there going to be anything worth seeing at the box office, or can Marvel hold up the film industry by itself? Probably not. So this is something that needs to be brought up. This is something that needs to be known, that people are straying away from the movies. They're straying away from films that are being rushed out into theaters with no plot, no character development, no nothing really. No one wants to spend the money or the time on something like that. So, film industry, everyone in Hollywood, this is something that you need to pay attention to. This is something that I feel like you need to heed. A lot of people in the film industry, like Steven Spielberg recently said that Netflix shouldn't be nominated for Academy Awards, and the Cannes Festival has recently banned Netflix movies from competing there. But Netflix so far is the future. And people are going towards Netflix now because you keep putting crap out into the theaters. What if you start putting more quality content in the movie theaters and bring and generate more interest there? Then maybe Netflix won't seem so threatening. Because so far Netflix is winning when it comes to content, and the fact that people don't have to spend more than $10 a month to watch whatever crap they put on there. People don't want to spend 10, 20, 30 bucks to watch crap somewhere else outside of the comfort of their own home. So this is something that needs to be seen and said and shared and retweeted. Put quality content in the theaters. Stop putting garbage out there. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Did you see any of the top 5 movies this past weekend? What do you think about the top 5 movies? Do you think that Pacific Rim could have made more money? Did you think it was good? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can get some more of my content, which is movie news, reviews, and reactions right here at Anamanji. Until next time, stay dope.